Hello, my wonderful, beautiful bros, my wonderful, beautiful bros, guys, my wonderful, beautiful Maverick Nation. I am the dark, the shadow, the Maverick, the dark shadow Maverick. I'm gonna bring you guys part 2 of What If Naruto was Indra's reincarnation. And if you can actually, tell the difference whenever the fan is or isn't off. The only reason it's not on is because I got really freaking cold. And right now it's at a pleasant temperature. Anyways, that's my bullshit. And now, for the second part to commence. We start off part 2 with, well, basically, everyone there. Naruto, Sasuke, and Tamari. And, well, Kakashi would have been late as usual. I mean, come on already. We already know that this man is always late AF to everything. And, well, with Naruto, Tamari, and Sasuke there, Kakashi will just explain the rules of the freaking bell test. And, seeing as this Naruto is the reincarnation of Indra, things would be different. Plus, I mean, he has all that shit that he did with Itachi on the night of the Uchiha massacre. And, any communication in between him, Tamari, and Sasuke. Basically, they actually do come up with a plan to go against for Kakashi. And Tamari and Sasuke using wind and fire jutsu. At first, it would just seem like they were using jutsu, alone. But soon enough, Kakashi would, realize that they were actually using the different wind and fire jutsu to power them up. And Naruto's whole role in this is basically to get Kakashi in a certain point to where he could fill his role. And his role is something of a certain amount of importance. Basically, as soon as everything starts off, Tamari and Sasuke would, do their whole thing, fire style, fireball, and Tamari's wind jutsu, like, fan thing. The first, second, and third moon, Kakashi actually figuring out what they're trying to do a little bit sooner than they had expected. But, that's whenever they're like, oh yeah, he's a Jonin, so why were we thinking this was going to work in the first place? And technically, Naruto didn't really tell them the full extent of the plan. He kept one specific part very secretive. Basically, Sasuke would be on one side of the training field, and Tamari would be on the other side. Tamari would fire a wind style jutsu, Sasuke would fire a fire style jutsu, and Kakashi would basically substitute out of there. And trying to find Naruto, all he would find is, Naruto. And, Kakashi would be like, huh, you're not very smart. And Naruto's like, you must not be very smart reading that book while in the middle of this exercise. And Kakashi's like, what do you mean? It's not like you're doing anything. And Naruto would just be like, okay, like, okie dokie, artichoke. And, well, the clone would just go, basically, yes, this is a clone, and we'll just go, go tango with Kakashi. And Kakashi would realize a little bit too late that this was a wood clone of Naruto. Because, Kakashi wouldn't think to have his Sharingan out. So he wouldn't have realized that this was a wood clone. And basically, this is when, Sasuke would be like, horse, tiger, fire style, fireball jutsu. And Tamari would just be like, wind style, third moon. And, basically, the two jutsu, like, Kakashi would just, like, shun himself out of the way. He would be up in the air. And that's whenever he would realize that there was a Naruto in the tree, which would then jump up in the air with him and be like, Mokuton! And Kakashi would be like, fuck. And be like, Naruto would just be like, wood style, wooden exploding dragon. Like, he'd be like, wood style, exploding wooden dragon. And Kakashi would be like, shit. Be like, kaboom! And Kakashi would actually, like, land on his back from that exploding wooden dragon. And Naruto would just drop down. And, well, he's not going to go over to Kakashi to get the bells. He's not stupid. So, instead of that, he would just use ninja tripwire attached to two shuriken that were attached to a tree, basically, embedded in a tree. He would pull them back, and the shuriken would cut the bells from where they were placed on Kakashi's, little thing, where they were placed. Would cut them free from there, and Naruto would just flick the bells in two different directions. Basically, Kakashi would be like, You sneaky little devil, you, and Naruto just finished for him, knew the entire exercise and its meaning from the start, yes. And Kakashi would be like, there's something about this kid. When the third told me to watch out for him, I wasn't exactly sure why. That's whenever Kakashi starts to, mess around, with the hair a little, and, remove the whiskers, and, he starts to see a young Minato Namikaze. Or what he believes that is at first, but dude, it's more or less he thinks it's Minato because he's like kinda delirious and he can't really see straight. And Naruto would reinform Kakashi like, well, you know, my mother was indeed related to the fourth's wife. So I can see where you got a little confused. But no, my father is known as Uchiha Kafei. Well, he was before he died. Which, the fact that Naruto has that much restraint to just forgive Itachi for killing his father. And we don't even know what the hell happened to Uzumaki Anju. We don't even know what the hell happened to her. We don't even know what the hell happened to her, because Itachi was only told to kill the Uchiha clan. And, Uzumaki Anju was part of the Uzumaki clan. I mean, she's kind of part of the Uchiha clan, but kind of not. So, it was kind of a gray area. So, yeah, that's kind of the reason why Kakashi got messed up and thought he was Minato for a couple seconds. Plus, the hair and the eyes, and the, whiskers. That if you just take those off, it kind of looks like a young Minato for a second. That is until you finally regain all your consciousness and realize you were only thinking that because you were delirious and couldn't see straight. Which Naruto does admit that his father and the Undaime did indeed have some similarities whenever they were alive. Only, hair and eyes were black. And, well, yeah, that's something. And, well, basically, Team 7 would have passed. And, yeah. After all that, there would be the series of D missions, which even Tamari would feel kind of like scatterbrained about all that. Like, really? And then eventually they would get to the C-rank mission to basically protect the bridge builder Tazuna. on his way back to the land of Wave and, building that whole bridge thing. Would be in the midst of this mission whenever the Demon Brothers attacked. Basically, when one of the Demon Brothers went to attack Naruto with the Poison Claw, Tamari would have blocked it with her fan, and then basically just Wonder Woman twirled him into a tree with it. Naruto would be like, "Thanks, Tamari." And then Tamari would be like, "Behind you." And Sasuke would just be like, "I got it." And just kick the dude in the stomach. And Fireman's Carry tossed him over his shoulder, right into Naruto's hands, as he would just land him in a pile driver. That's whenever he would flip him over, and then spin him around to face him, and then basically slam him against a tree, and be like, "Answers now." And the guy would just be like, "Okay." They'd be like scared shitless. And Kakashi, seeing this like teamwork, like be like, "I did indeed like pick the right team." Kakashi would have feeling that kind of pride that, he picked a pretty badass team. Naruto, Uchiha, Tamari Sabaku Uchiha, and Sasuke Uchiha. Basically, after everything was said, the whole deal with Tazuna and how, like, the reason why, he kind of lied is because the Land of Wave was pretty poor, and so they couldn't afford to pay for a higher level mission, higher rank mission. Basically, that's whenever they have the first encounter of Zabuza, not too long after they encountered the Demon Brothers. And Zabuza and Tamari, whenever their weapons went to clash with one another, Tamari trying to defend the squad, after Zabuza had just lodged himself into a tree, basically his executioner blade would put a hole through her fan, and Naruto would get pissed. He would just chakra control punch the executioner blade, and so hard that the other end actually smacks into Zabuza, making him fall backwards into the ground, creating a big crater. Like 2 or 3, 4, 5 times the size of Zabuza. And Zabuza being like, "What the hell was that from?" And Naruto would just be like, "You son of a..." And Tamari would be like, And Sasuke would be like, "Okay, I got it. You do this." And Kakashi would be like, "No, I got this." And that's whenever, after a while of, everything going on, as it did, Kakashi would get trapped in the water prison. And, well, let's just say Zabuza's water clone that he uses to fight, against them is pretty hacks. However, Naruto indeed comes up with the plan of just throwing shadow clones at it, so it has to defend against the shadow clones, creating a perfect smoke screen for whenever they all go poof. That's whenever the plan would come into action. Of the Shadow Shuriken, like Demon Windmill. Like something windmill of shadows. Like Demon Wind Shuriken, Windmill of Shadows, something like that. And throw it at Zabuza's water clone. Not really at his water clone, more at the non-clone Zabuza. But he would jump, and then the Shuriken would turn into Naruto, and Naruto would just throw kunai, and Zabuza would he catch the kunai? And this, however, he would realize the kunai he caught had explosive tags on them. And that was a little suggestion from Tamari. Like, if the guy decides to catch the kunai, then we put explosive tags. Just in case. And basically, Zabuza, scatters the kunai around, like throwing them in different directions. Because he did not want to get his arm blown off. And that basically just creates more smoke. And plus, Zabuza doesn't even realize that he had let go of Kakashi. And then, whenever the smoke reveals everything, it will reveal Kakashi with his Sharingan eye out, and everything else will go up in his same cannon. Even with Haku. And even whenever, Kakashi wakes up, and basically informing them all about pretty much how Zabuza's not actually dead. And how that Hunter Nan is actually probably an accomplice of his. So yeah, that's pretty much the first half of the Land of Waves arc. Like, Land of Waves arc off right after the bell test, so I think we accomplished something here. Then I dust this because the next time I'm out of here. You boys like, favorite, subscribe, click that little bell in the comment section. I'm a frick. Screwed up my outro. Shit.